Some of the most remarkable places to swim on the planet are not found in man-made resorts or carefully constructed pools, but in landscapes shaped entirely by nature. Here's 15 of the most amazing natural swimming pools. Number 15. The Giola Lagoon. The Giola Lagoon, often referred to as the Natural Pool of Thasos, is a striking formation located on the southeastern coast of Thasos Island in the northern Aegean Sea. This natural swimming pool was carved into the coastal rock and filled with seawater, and it sits just a few meters from the open sea. It's about 20 meters long and about 8 meters wide, with a depth that varies due to the tidal changes, but it's typically around 3 meters at its deepest point. Now, its origins are entirely natural. It was shaped by the continuous wave action against the island shore. The pool is separated from the Aegean by a natural rock barrier roughly 2 meters high. This gives it its unique character. The water inside the pool is usually calmer and slightly warmer than the adjacent sea, creating a sheltered environment for swimmers. Access to it is pretty challenging, which has helped preserve it. It's located near the village of Astris, and it requires traveling on an unpaved road followed by a short hike down rocky terrain. There's no built facilities, no lifeguards, or commercial services at the pool itself, so you've got to exercise some caution. It's a really popular spot for cliff diving, where visitors are leaping from the surrounding rock ledges into the clear water. However, the varying depth and uneven rocky formations make that activity pretty risky. There have been occasional accidents here. The lagoon's become a major draw for tourism in the region, frequently featured in travel photography and social media. But despite increased visitor numbers, Giola remains undeveloped. There's ongoing discussions about balancing its preservation with the infrastructure improvements, but as of now, it retains relatively untouched character. During the summer months, particularly in July and August, Giola can become pretty crowded. There's no fresh water supply here or shade nearby, so preparation is essential. The Giola Lagoon exemplifies how coastal formations can create unique swimming environments without any humans involved. It shows the intersection of natural beauty and tourism in challenging Mediterranean islands. Number 14. The Queen's Bath. The Queen's Bath. This is a natural tidal pool located on the north shore of Kauai in Hawaii, near the town of Princeville. This feature was formed by the collapse of a lava tube, and it's now filled by seawater from the Pacific, creating a large natural pool along the coast. Historically, the pool was named Queen's Bath because it was used as a bathing place for Hawaiian royalty during the 19th century, though its current form differs from the original pool referenced in the Hawaiian tradition, which was located elsewhere on the island before being destroyed by a lava flow. The pool measures about 30 meters across, and it's separated from the ocean open by lava rock ledges. Water will enter the pool through wave action, with the tides and surf conditions directly affecting the water levels and safety. In calm conditions, though, Queen's Bath offers a clear, sheltered water suitable for swimming and snorkeling, allowing people to observe small fish and marine life trapped in the pool during tidal changes. The site is infamous for the strong waves and sudden surges there, particularly during the winter months when the North Shore surf is at its peak. High surf can sweep across the rocks, which creates powerful currents that have led to numerous drownings and accidents over the years. Visitors are strongly advised to check surf reports and heed all posted warnings before attempting to visit or swim in the area. Reaching it requires a short but pretty steep hike down a trail from a nearby residential area in Princeville. The path can become muddy and slippery, especially after the rain, adding to the risks associated with visiting here. It's become widely publicized through guidebooks and social media, of course, attracting tourists seeking some dramatic natural scenery. However, its reputation as beautiful and dangerous location underscores the complexities of promoting natural attractions that pose inherent risks. Many local residents advocate for heightened visitor education and seasonal closures to reduce accidents, while others emphasize personal responsibility and awareness. Queen's Bath remains an iconic example of Hawaii's volcanic coastal landscapes, visually stunning yet requiring respect for the power of the ocean. Number 13. The Tossua Ocean Trench. The Tossua Ocean Trench, located in the village of Lotofaga on the coast of Upolu in Samoa, is one of the most distinctive natural swimming pools in the Pacific. The name Tossua means big hole in Samoan, which aptly describes this formation, a massive sinkhole about 30 meters deep and 20 meters wide, connected to the ocean by an underwater lava tube. The pool's emerald waters and tropical surroundings have made it a notable landmark and a popular swimming spot for visitors to Samoa. The trench was formed through volcanic activity and erosion. Lava flows from past volcanic activity created a network of tunnels and caverns beneath the island's surface, and over time, one of these caverns collapsed. Seawater enters the pool through the submerged tunnel, creating a constant exchange with the ocean open and ensuring that the water remains fresh and clear. The depth here allows for swimming even at low tide, although tidal changes can subtly affect the water levels. Access to the pool is distinctive. It requires descending a long wooden ladder built against the vertical rock walls of the trench. A small platform at the base provides entry into the water, but while this ladder is well constructed and maintained, it can be slippery due to constant moisture. Visitors are advised to descend slowly and use caution. The site surrounding Tossua is landscaped as part of the park, with walking paths, gardens, and coastal views of the Pacific. While Tossua is well known today, it retains a sense of its natural isolation, with the vibrant greenery of the Samoan coast surrounding the pool and limited modern development in the immediate area. The sheltered nature of the pool provides calm waters compared to the open ocean, yet connection to the sea creates some subtle currents and varying temps. Many visitors bring snorkeling gear to explore the underwater rock formations and observe fish that occasionally enter from the ocean. However, safety remains important. While the pool itself is calm, rough surf conditions outside the trench can occasionally influence water movement, and strong swimmers are recommended. Tossua has been featured extensively in travel publications and photography due to the dramatic appearance. The vertical rock walls covered in vegetation contrasting with the bright blue-green water below. Well, despite its growing popularity, local management maintains the site with attention to environmental protection and visitor safety. Number 12. Ikil. Ikil Cenote is one of the most famous natural swimming pools in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula and a prime example of the region's distinctive cenote formations. Located near the archaeological site of Chichen Itza, Ikil is a large circular sinkhole about 60 meters in diameter and 40 meters deep, with water levels about 26 meters below the surface. Formed by the collapse of limestone bedrock into an underground water-filled cavern, cenotes like this one are characteristic of the Yucatan's geology that hold both ecological and cultural significance. The Yucatan Peninsula lacks surface rivers due to its porous limestone. Instead, rainwater percolates through the rock, forming extensive underground rivers and caverns. When the roofs of these caverns collapse, cenotes are created, exposing the water to the surface. Ikil is part of this interconnected system and is supplied by groundwater filtered through limestone. Now, historically, cenotes were sacred to the ancient Maya, who regarded them as portals to the underworld and sources of life-giving water. Archaeological studies have documented ceremonial offerings and human remains in some cenotes, though Ikil itself is primarily noted for its role as a water source and a swimming location rather than a sacrificial site. Its distinctive appearance does contribute to that popularity. Its vertical walls are covered in hanging vines and tree roots that extend downward toward the water, creating a striking natural curtain. Small waterfalls trickle down into the pool, enhancing that scenic quality. Today, it's managed as part of a tourist complex that includes changing facilities, life jackets, and regulated access to preserve its integrity. And while these additions make it one of the more developed cenotes in the region, the management does help prevent overcrowding and environmental degradation. It's often visited as parts of tours to Chichen Itza, offering some natural complement to the archaeological exploration of Mayan history. However, as with other cenotes in the region, preservation is a priority. Maintaining water quality and protecting the limestone ecosystem is an ongoing challenge. It remains a living connection to the forces that shape the peninsula and the cultural traditions of the Maya. It offers a rare opportunity to experience swimming in a formation that has been central to life in the region for millennia. Number 11. Hamilton Pool Preserve. The Hamilton Pool Preserve is located about 37 kilometers west of Austin, Texas. It's one of the most celebrated natural swimming destinations in the U.S., and it's a showcase of Central Texas's unique limestone karst topography. Now, unlike man-made swimming areas, Hamilton Pool is the product of geological forces that unfolded over thousands of years, culminating in a dramatic collapsed grotto with a turquoise pool and cascading waterfall. Its formation is directly tied to the Balcones Fault Zone, a significant feature that runs through central Texas. Millions of years ago, the Edwards Plateau, this was an uplifted of limestone created during the Cretaceous period, underwent some extensive erosion and faulting. Underground rivers carved caverns through the limestone, and one such cavern eventually collapsed, creating the open-air grotto we see today. This process exposed Hamilton Creek, which flows into the grotto and spills over its rim at a 15-meter waterfall, feeding the pool below before continuing downstream. The pool itself is roughly 70 meters across, encircled on three sides by a high, overhanging limestone roof that's adorned with stalactites and moss. This overhang provides partial shade year-round, making the pool a cool retreat even during the intense heat of Texas summers. Hamilton Pool Preserve is part of a 230-acre protected area managed by Travis County Parks. This preserve encompasses a variety of habitats, including riparian zones along Hamilton Creek, upland juniper woodlands, and savanna grasslands. This ecological diversity supports a wide array of plants and animals. Notable species include ash juniper, live oak, cedar elm, and bald cypress, while wildlife will range from white-tailed deer and raccoons to numerous birds, like the endangered golden-cheeked warbler, which nests exclusively in central Texas. Protecting these habitats has been central to the preserve's management since it was designated a county park in 1985. Swimming here, of course, is one of its main draws, but it is closely regulated to balance recreation and safety and conservation. The water quality is tested frequently, as natural conditions like rainfall runoff and wildlife activity can affect the bacterial levels, and after heavy rains, swimming sometimes is prohibited due to elevated bacteria. Accessing it requires a short but moderately steep hike, about half a kilometer, that's a quarter mile from the parking area. The trail descends through shaded woodland and includes uneven rocky terrain that can be slippery after rain. The hike offers glimpses of Hamilton Creek lined with bald cypress trees and occasional wildlife like turtles, frogs, or herons. Visitor management is critical here to preserving its ecosystem. The preserve limits daily attendance through a reservation system, especially during peak seasons, that's about spring through early fall. This reduces crowding and minimizes environmental impact. Lifeguards are not provided, so swimmers have to exercise caution, particularly near the waterfall, where the depth can vary and currents may be stronger than they appear. Hamilton Pool's popularity surged in the 1990s and 2000s as travel media and photography showed its beauty. Social media has further amplified that, drawing both domestic and international visitors. Restoration projects have included native vegetation planting, trail reinforcement, and erosion control. Education programs inform visitors about the preserve's geology, history, and ecological significance, which fosters appreciation and stewardship. For those seeking one of the most natural swimming experiences in the United States, Hamilton Pool Preserve offers a rare blend of geology, ecological richness, and cultural history. Its collapsed caverns, shaded waters, and surrounding wilderness create a setting that feels intimate and amazing, a reminder of nature's ability to sculpt extraordinary beauty through the slow work of water and time. Number 10. Kuang Sea Falls. Kuang Sea Falls, located in northern Laos, is one of Southeast Asia's most striking waterfalls and a premier natural swimming destination. The multi-tiered cascade tumbles over limestone formations into a series of turquoise pools, each framed by lush tropical forest. Known locally as Tat Kuang Si, the falls exemplify the hydrology in the region and serve as an ecological feature and a centerpiece of tourism. The formation of the falls is closely linked to the region's geology. Rainwater, slightly acidic due to dissolved carbon dioxide, slowly dissolves the calcium carbonate in the limestone bedrock. As the water flows downstream, it reprecipitates this calcium carbonate, building travertine terraces and dams that shape the stepped pools. Now, this process is ongoing. Mineral deposits continuously alter the shape of the falls, creating new basins while enlarging or sealing older ones. The resulting pools vary in depth, some shallow enough for wading and others deep enough for swimming and even modest cliff jumping. The falls begin as a high drop of about 60 meters or 200 feet, plunging into a large pool that overflows into successive lower tiers. Now, these tiers form a cascade of smaller falls and pools stretching downstream through forest. The striking turquoise color, similar to that of Pamok in Turkey or Havasu Falls in Arizona, result from high mineral content and the reflection of sunlight off suspended limestone particles. One notable feature of this whole site is the nearby Bear Rescue Center, operated by the organization Free the Bears. This sanctuary provides refuge for the Asiatic black bear, also called moon bears, rescued from the wildlife trade, offering visitors an exceptional opportunity alongside this natural attraction. Now, culturally, the falls hold some significance here for the local people. While not a major site of ritual, like some caves or temples, the area is integrated into seasonal activities and festivals. The fall's proximity to Luang Prabang makes them a popular day trip for both locals and international travelers. Traditional Lao foods are sold at nearby stalls, and visitors often picnic along the shaded paths leading to the pools. Access to the falls is pretty straightforward. Visitors typically travel by tuk-tuk, motorbike, or minivan along a scenic road passing rice paddies, villages, and forested hills. A network of well-maintained trails and wooden bridges guides visitors through the Cascades tiers, allowing exploration at multiple levels. But it's the swimming that's one of its greatest attractions. The water, fed by mountain springs, remains cool year-round, a welcome respite from Laos' tropical heat. Visitors can wade or swim in designated pools, some equipped with rope swings for jumping into deeper sections. The travertine terraces, though beautiful, can be slippery, and care is needed when climbing or entering. The growing popularity of the falls has spurred some conservation efforts aimed at balancing tourism with the environmental protection. Visitor infrastructure, including pathways, platforms, and waste facilities, have been developed to minimize the impact on the environment. Community-based initiatives, too, ensure that tourism revenue supports the local livelihoods, which fosters stewardship among the nearby villages. Photographically, the falls are among the most iconic landscapes in Laos. Long exposure shots capture the silky flow of water over terraces, while the aerial views reveal the Cascades' full extent amid the emerald forest. The falls are often featured in travel media promoting Laos' natural beauty, complementing the cultural allure of the temples and monasteries there. For people seeking a combination of recreation, scenery, and cultural immersion, Kuang Sea Falls offers a singular experience. The pools provide safe, refreshing swimming in a natural setting, while the broader site offers opportunities for hiking, wildlife observation, and learning about conservation. The presence of a bear sanctuary adds a unique dimension, blending some environmental education with direct action against wildlife exploitation. As tourism to Laos continues to grow, careful management will be essential to preserve the fall's delicate travertine structures and pristine water for future generations. Number 9. The Devil's Pool. With quite possibly the best name ever, the Devil's Pool is one of the most extraordinary swimming locations in the world, perched on the edge of Victoria Falls on the border of Zambia and Zimbabwe. Now, unlike most natural pools which form in calm settings away from strong currents, Devil's Pool exists at the very lip of the largest waterfall on the planet. This feature draws thousands of people every year eager to experience the sensation of swimming mere centimeters from a 100-meter drop into the gorge below. Now, the pool itself is a naturally occurring rock depression located on Livingstone Island, that's a small rocky outcrop in the Zambezi River. During the dry season, typically from late August to early January, water levels in the river drop, exposing the rocky lip of the falls and reducing the current's force, enough to make the pool accessible and relatively safe for swimming. The rock wall of the pool acts as a natural barrier, and it holds back the river's flow, creating a calm eddy right at the edge of the precipice. From this vantage point, swimmers can look directly over the sheer vertical drop of the falls, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. Victoria Falls, known locally as the Smoke That Thunders, is the largest sheet of falling water in the world. It goes for a roughly 1.7 kilometers in width, and it plunges 108 meters into the Batoka Gorge. These falls were formed over millennia by the erosion of basalt rock, with the Zambezi River carving out a series of zigzagging gorges as it retreated upstream. Access to the pool is tightly regulated, both for safety and conservation reasons. Visitors can reach the pool through guided tours operated from the Zambian side of the falls, typically starting from the Royal Livingstone Hotel or nearby lodges. Life jackets are provided, though confident swimming ability is strongly recommended due to the river's unpredictable currents. Once there at the pool, guides will supervise visitors closely, positioning them carefully to ensure they remain within the safe zone behind the natural rock barrier. But despite the precautions, Devil's Pool is not without risk. While there's no verified records of tourists ever being swept over the falls during guided excursions, the potential danger is real. Strong currents and slippery rocks demand constant vigilance. access is closed entirely during the wet season, roughly February to July, where water levels rise and the currents become way too powerful. It was here in 1855 that Scottish explorer David Livingstone first viewed Victoria Falls, describing it in his journals as "scenes so lovely must have been gazed upon by angels in their flight." Well, the island has remained a focal point for visitors ever since, and the presence of Devil's Pool adds a visceral dimension to the experience. Its popularity has grown substantially in recent decades, fueled by social media and adventure tourism. Efforts by local authorities, though, and tour operators to enforce seasonal closures, regulate visitor numbers, and educate tourists about the site's risks have been largely effective in preserving its integrity. The Devil's Pool stands as one of the most dramatic examples of a natural swimming pool. It embodies the intersection of beauty and danger, where human presence has to adapt to nature's rhythms rather than attempt to control them. In doing so, it offers not just a swim, but an unforgettable immersion into one of the planet's most iconic landscapes. Number 8. The Eekma Blue Cave Pools. The Eekma Blue Cave Pools, located on Eekma Island in Okinawa Prefecture, Japan, are among the most stunning examples of natural pools formed within coastal limestone caves. Unlike conventional open-air pools, these formations combine the allure of secluded marine environments with the optical phenomenon of vivid blue water created by sunlight filtering through narrow cave openings. The result is an otherworldly setting that's become a highlight for snorkelers and swimmers exploring Okinawa's lesser-known islands. Eekma Island lies just north of Miyakojima, connected by the Eekma Bridge, and form parts of a chain of coral limestone islands. The blue cave pools are a product of that topography. Over thousands of years, wave action and chemical weathering of coral limestone created sea caves and sinkholes that later filled with seawater. The pools themselves vary in size and depth, with some large enough to accommodate groups of swimmers and others accessible only to divers. Water clarity here is exceptional due to limited sediment input and continuous flushing by tidal currents from the East China Sea. The constant interplay of light and shadow combined with the acoustic dampening of the caves creates a tranquil yet surreal environment for swimming. Access to the cave pools is typically by boat, with local tour operators offering guided snorkeling and diving excursions from the nearby area. Conditions do vary seasonally, with the calmest waters occurring from late spring through early autumn. While the caves can be visited year-round, winter months may bring some stronger currents and reduced visibility, which would limit access for less experienced swimmers. Safety considerations here are paramount in that environment. The cave's confined space and variable tides require careful navigation, and swimmers have to remain aware of potential hazards like sharp limestone formations and sudden changes in water depth. Tour guides emphasize proper equipment, masks, snorkel fins, and in some cases life vests, and provide briefings on cave etiquette to minimize any impact and ensure safe exploration. But culturally, Okinawa's islands possess a rich heritage distinct from mainland Japan, shaped by centuries of Ryukyu Kingdom maritime trade and unique spiritual beliefs that are tied to natural features. While the Blue Cave pools themselves were not historically used for ritual purposes, the reverence for the marine landscape and local traditions adds a layer of cultural context to this modern appreciation. Tourism to the island and its caves has grown steadily as word spread through travel media and social platforms, but it remains less crowded than their more famous Blue Cave at Cape Maeda. This relative isolation will enhance the pool's appeals for some people seeking a quieter, more intimate encounter. However, increased visitation also brings some challenges, ensuring that the limestone formations and coral habitats are not damaged by careless contact or overuse. These caves illustrate the balance required between promoting unique natural attractions and preserving them. For those willing to make the journey, these pools are an unforgettable combination of natural beauty, adventure, and cultural immersion. It's a window into the subtropical seascapes that define Okinawa's identity. Moving on to number 7, Havasu Falls. Havasu Falls, located in the Havasupai Indian Reservation deep within the Grand Canyon in Arizona, is renowned worldwide for its striking blue waters and cascading waterfalls. The pools here are formed by the unique conditions in the region, resulting in one of the most iconic natural swimming destinations in North America. But beyond the visual beauty, the pools are vital as cultural and ecological features, sustained by the same forces that shaped the Grand Canyon itself. That vivid blue-green color in the pools is a result of high concentrations of calcium carbonate in the water. Havasu Creek, the stream feeding the falls, emerges from a limestone aquifer and carries dissolved minerals downstream. That mineral deposition creates and maintains the pools, constantly reshaping them in the response to changes in water flow, flooding, and other sediment deposition. Now, the falls itself drops about 30 meters or 100 feet into the first large pool, which then spills into a series of smaller cascades downstream. The pools are surrounded by terraces and lush riparian vegetation, which strikes a contrast to the desert landscape of the surrounding Grand Canyon. Cottonwood trees, willows, and ferns thrive in these moist microclimates along the creek. Now, access to the falls is tightly controlled by the Havasupai tribe, whose reservation encompasses this section of the canyon. The Havasupai people have lived in the canyon for centuries, relying on its water and land for farming. In recent decades, tourism has become a primary source of income for the tribe, but they've taken significant measures to regulate the visitation and protect the environment. The journey to the falls itself is pretty demanding, though. Visitors have to hike about 16 kilometers, that's 10 miles, from the trailhead at the hill town down to the canyon to reach the village of Supai, followed by an additional 2 miles to the falls. Spring and early summer typically bring the most vibrant water color, while monsoon season and late summer can cause some flash floods that alter the pool's shape and on occasion require closures. A notable example of this happened in 2008 when a major flood destroyed parts of the trail and changed the waterfall's appearance, creating new cascades and altering existing ones. Those events show the dynamic nature of these formations, which are constantly being rebuilt and changed by mineral-laden water. Diving is discouraged, obviously, due to the variable depths and submerged rocks. There's no lifeguards or safety infrastructure here at the site, and emergency services are limited given the location. Respecting their rules like prohibition on alcohol, drones, and off-trail exploration is essential for preserving the environment and their cultural sanctity. Heavy foot traffic, litter, and unauthorized camping have in the past placed stress on the delicate system here. In response, the tribe has implemented strict limits on visitor numbers. These efforts, combined with the natural resilience of the travertine system, have allowed the pools to remain relatively pristine despite the high demand. Culturally speaking, Havasu Falls and the pools here hold deep significance for the people, whose name means people of the blue-green waters. Oral histories and traditions emphasize the sacred nature of the creek and its springs, framing them not merely as scenic landmarks but as integral components of spiritual life and survival. In recent years, though, photography and social media have amplified the allure of the place, often depicting its pools as an idyllic paradise. Visitors willing to make the journey are rewarded with a swimming experience unlike any other. Emerald pools framed by red canyon walls and the sound of water echoing through one of the world's most dramatic landscapes. As one of the most iconic natural swimming destinations on the planet, they're an example of the power of water to transform even the harshest landscape into a sanctuary of beauty. Number 6. The Cala Cenote. Cenote Calavera, located just a few kilometers outside the town of Tulum in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, is another distinctive and visually striking cenote. The name Calavera, meaning skull in Spanish, refers to the 3 circular openings in the limestone roof and the cenote that resembles the eye sockets and mouth when viewed from above. This unusual formation, combined with its crystal-clear water and limestone walls, make it a unique destination for swimming. The depth of this cenote is about 15 meters or 50 feet, and its vertical profile make it pretty appealing to divers exploring the region's famous underwater cave systems. The openings in the roof serve as both skylights and entry points. Visitors can climb down a wooden ladder into the main pool, or more adventurously, jump through the smaller holes directly into the water below. These holes create dramatic shafts of sunlight that penetrate the interior, illuminating suspended particles and creating a visual effect, often referred to as light beams or God rays. That phenomenon is pronounced around midday when the sun's directly overhead. Today, Cala Cenote is a popular spot for both casual swimmers and experienced cave divers. This one connects to an extensive underwater system that attracts divers from around the world and offers access to passages adorned with stalagmites, stalactites, and fossilized coral formations. Diving here, of course, requires proper training and equipment, as the overhead environment can be hazardous for unprepared people. For swimmers, the open pool provides a safe and refreshing experience. Access to the cenote is pretty easy compared to the more remote sites. It lies along the road connecting Tulum with Koba, and it's reached by car, bike, or taxi. Visitors have to pay a modest entry fee, which contributes to site maintenance and conservation efforts. The environmental management is critical to preserving the water quality here. Sunscreens and lotions can contaminate the delicate fresh water, so visitors are encouraged or required to rinse off before entering. The experience of swimming or diving here is exhilarating and humbling. The vertical walls illuminated by shafts of light create a cathedral-like atmosphere, while the skull-like openings above connect the swimmers to the world outside. For those exploring the cenotes of Tulum, Cenote Calavera stands out as a must-visit location. It's the combination of accessibility, the aesthetics, and the opportunities, along with its quiet yet profound cultural resonance, that makes it one of the most memorable natural swimming pools in the Yucatan Peninsula. Number 5. Pamukkale. Pamukkale, located in Turkey, is among the most recognizable natural wonders in the world. It's known for its dazzling white travertine terraces that cascade down a hill. Pamukkale, meaning cotton castle in Turkish, has drawn visitors for thousands of years. Today, of course, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's celebrated for its beauty and history, including the close association with the nearby Greco-Roman city of Hierapolis. The formation of Pamukkale's terraces is a result of a unique condition. Hot springs in the area emerge at temperatures around 100 degrees Celsius. They're rich in calcium carbonate, and as these thermal waters flow down the hillside, they lose the carbon dioxide and deposit travertine, which is a soft white limestone that solidifies into terraces and shallow basins. The active nature of this process means that it's constantly changing. Terraces may fill, overflow, or shift as new mineral layers are deposited. Now, the pools here have been used for bathing since antiquity. The nearby ancient city of Hierapolis, founded in the 2nd century BCE by the kings of Pergamon, later absorbed into the Roman Empire, capitalized on the hot springs for religious and therapeutic purposes. Archaeological remains of baths, temples, and necropolis testify to the prosperity of these springs. The historic connection between Pamukkale and Hierapolis is inseparable. The two sites are jointly inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List, and visitors today can explore the ruins, including its well-preserved theater, monumental gates, and the famed Plutonium, a cave associated with the god Pluto and used for ritual sacrifices before descending to the travertine terraces for bathing. Modern tourism here has posed some challenges. In the 20th century, uncontrolled visitation and hotel construction on the terraces caused severe damage. Bathers were wearing shoes, detergents were used, and water flow was diverted unsustainably, leading to discoloration and erosion. Recognizing the threat to the natural wonder, Turkish authorities and UNESCO implemented strict conservation methods in the 1990s. The hotels were removed, bathing areas were restricted to the pools, and water flow was carefully managed. But beyond the aesthetic appeal, it holds ecological significance too. The terraces here support specialized microbial communities that are adapted to high mineral environments. Now, these microbial mats do contribute to the deposition of calcium carbonate, and they influence the terrace's color and texture. Access here is relatively straightforward. The site is near the city of Denizli, which is connected to a major Turkish city by rail, bus, and air. From Denizli, local transport and tour buses bring visitors to the entrance of the complex. So this enduring allure lies in the fusion of natural wonder and depth. It's a place where geology and human history intersect. The visual impact is pretty profound. Shimmering white cliffs that cascade into the blue pools, framed by distant mountains and fertile valleys. For millennia, people have come to Pamukkale seeking healing, beauty, and amazement, and despite modern challenges, the pools remain one of the world's most extraordinary swimming experiences. Number 4. The Blue Lagoon. The Blue Lagoon, located in southwestern Iceland near Grindavik, is one of the most famous geothermal bathing sites in the world. Now, unlike most natural pools, the Blue Lagoon is geothermally heated but partially man-made. Formed in 1976 when runoff from a geothermal power plant collected in a nearby lava field. Over time, this mineral-rich water, laden with silica, algae, and sulfur, created a milky blue lagoon renowned for its purported therapeutic properties. While human-engineered in origin, the lagoon operates entirely on a natural energy and evolved into a celebrated example of sustainable spa tourism. The water that fills the lagoon originates deep underground where seawater and freshwater mix and are superheated by volcanic activity to temperatures exceeding 200 Celsius. This water is used to generate electricity and provide the distinct heating at the plant. After passing through heat exchangers and mineral-rich brine is released into the surrounding lava field, where it cools and accumulates in these natural depressions to form the lagoon. Despite the industrial origins, though, it quickly gained a reputation for its therapeutic quality. Local residents began bathing in the warm runoff in the late 1970s, reporting relief from skin conditions like psoriasis. This reputation led to the formal establishment of the Blue Lagoon as a spa facility in 1992, and it's since grown into one of Iceland's premier attractions. The lagoon maintains an average temperature of about 37 to 40 degrees Celsius year-round, making it ideal for bathing even in Iceland's cold climate. When you visit here, it's carefully managed to protect the experience and the environment. Advanced reservations are of course required, and visitor numbers are capped to prevent any overcrowding. Guests are required to shower thoroughly before entering to maintain the water quality, and hair and jewelry precautions are advised due to the high silica content, which can be drying. The lagoon is accessible year-round with extended hours during the summer months when the midnight sun creates a surreal condition. The experience of bathing in the Blue Lagoon is multisensory. The warmth of the water, the softness of the silica mud applied as a natural face mask, the sight of steam mingling with the Arctic skies, and the occasional aurora borealis dancing overhead in winter. Few places in the world combine this volcanic geology, renewable energy, and spa culture so seamlessly. Despite its popularity, though, the lagoon remains deeply tied to the forces that created it: geothermal energy, volcanic activity, and Iceland's commitment to living in harmony with the dynamic land. Number 3. The Fairy Pools. The Fairy Pools on the island of Skye in Scotland are a series of crystal-clear cascading pools and waterfalls formed by the River Brittle as it flows from the Black Cullinan mountain range towards Loch Brittle. Known for the vivid blue and green hues, these pools have become one of Scotland's most celebrated natural attractions. But despite the popularity, they do remain a pristine example of a mountain river system shaped by glacial and fluvial processes over thousands of years. Geographically, the pools sit at the base of the Cullinan Hills, a volcanic mountain range composed primarily of gabbro and basalt. Over time, the river's erosive force has polished these basalt bedrocks into smooth channels, forming a succession of small waterfalls and deep plunge pools. The term fairy pools is relatively modern. It's a name rooted in Scottish folklore, though there's no specific legends tied to these particular pools. The Isle of Skye is rich in Celtic and Norse mythology, and stories of fairies, selkies, and other supernatural beings permeate the history here. The appeal of the pools lie in their combination of natural beauty and the accessibility of them. They're located near the village of Carbost in Glen Brittle, reachable by a single-track road leading to a parking area. From there, there's a well-marked trail that crosses open moorland and peat bogs for about 1.5 miles to reach the first pools. The hike, though not strenuous, involves crossing stepping stones and can be muddy or slippery in wet weather. That's a frequent occurrence given Skye's maritime climate. Even in summer, water temperatures rarely rise above 52 to 54 degrees Fahrenheit, making the experience bracing and best suited to those prepared for cold water immersion. But the clarity of the water offers amazing visibility, revealing submerged rock formations and aquatic plants. The surge in popularity of the fairy pools in the past decade, though, is largely attributed to social media and photography. Images of the turquoise water framed by mountain peaks have made the site recognizable. The influx of visitors has spurred both economic opportunities and some conservation challenges. Seasonality, of course, plays a role in experiencing it. In spring and summer, longer daylight hours and relatively milder weather make for some comfortable hiking and swimming, though the crowds are larger. Autumn brings fewer visitors and vibrant moorland colors, while winter transforms the land into a snow-dusted scene, still beautiful but potentially hazardous. Visiting the fairy pools responsibly involves adhering to Scotland's Outdoor Access Code, which emphasizes leaving no trace, respecting the wildlife, and minimizing erosion by staying on marked paths. These fairy pools embody the essence of Skye's landscape, wild, beautiful, and shaped by elemental forces. The allure lies not in the beauty, but in the intimacy, a series of modest cascades and basins that invite exploration, reflection, and immersion in one of the British Isles' most evocative settings. Number 2. The Enchanted River. The Enchanted River, located in the Philippines, is one of the most striking natural swimming sites in the world. It's known for its unusually deep blue color and its extraordinary clarity. The appearance and mysterious depth have all inspired folklore, while the unique geology and hydrology make it a rare and important natural feature in Southeast Asia. Its most distinctive feature is that color gradient. Near the spring, the water appears an almost surreal sapphire blue, transitioning to turquoise and green as it mixes with tidal flows downstream. The coloration is attributed to several factors: the purity of the water, the presence of dissolved minerals, and the depth of over 25 meters in places, and the way that the sunlight penetrates and refracts within the water column. Cave divers have documented extensive passages and vertical shafts here, some plunging to depths beyond recreational diving limits. The full extent of the system is still unknown, adding to the river's mystery. Well, culturally too, the river holds a special place. Legends speak of supernatural guardians, fairies, spirits, and mermaids who are said to protect the river, keep it impossibly clean, and forbidden fishing at its deepest point. The stories are passed down through generations and gave rise to the river's name and continue to shape the local attitudes towards the site. The Enchanted River is both freshwater and tidal. It's influenced by the bay that it feeds into. This creates a unique brackish ecosystem supporting diverse aquatic life, including various fish species that congregate in the deep blue pool. In a practice now part of the visitor experience, daily fishing sessions happen at noon, accompanied by the playing of the Hymn of Hinatuan. As the music begins, the fish emerge from the depths in remarkable numbers, a spectacle that highlights the richness of the ecosystem and the cultural traditions tied to this place. Swimming here is permitted and regulated to protect the visitors and the delicate environment. Designated swimming areas are roped off and life jackets are often required. Water clarity is exceptional, allowing swimmers to view the riverbed and fish even at considerable depth. But care is needed. Sudden changes in depth and the mix of fresh and salt water can disorient inexperienced swimmers. The experience of visiting the Enchanted River combines natural wonder with culture. The visual impact is immediate and unforgettable, while the quiet rituals, music during fish feeding, local legends shared by guides root the whole experience in a place and tradition. For swimmers, the sensation of floating in such clear, vividly colored water is unlike any of typical rivers or pools. Access to the Enchanted River is relatively straightforward. It's about 30 minutes from the nearest town, with facilities that include changing areas, food stalls, and shaded picnic sites. The best time to visit is during the dry season, December to May, when the water clarity is highest. But ultimately, the Enchanted River shows the fusion of geology and human culture that defines many of the world's most remarkable swimming sites. Preservation of this unique river, both as an ecosystem and as a cultural landmark, depend on the continued responsible management and respect from the many visitors who come to marvel at its depths each year. Number 1. The geothermal region of Rotorua. This region of Rotorua, on New Zealand's North Island, is one of the most active volcanic zones on the planet. It's famous for its boiling mud pools, steaming vents, and colored hot springs. Among its most striking features is the Devil's Bath, a natural geothermal pool located within the Waiotapu thermal wonderland. While the name suggests danger, the pool's allure is in the surreal, almost otherworldly appearance, a neon green body of water framed by pale silica terraces surrounded by the sulfur-scented air of an active volcano. It owes its remarkable coloration to a combination of mineral content and microbial activity. That intense green hue varies depending on the light conditions and the water chemistry, sometimes almost appearing fluorescent. This coloration results from high concentrations of sulfur and other minerals leached from the surrounding rocks, combined with refraction of sunlight off the suspended particles. Nearby geysers, fumaroles, and boiling mud pits provide constant reminders that this landscape is in flux. The pool formed as part of a collapsed geothermal crater. It's a common feature in these kinds of terrains where subsurface steam and acidic water gradually erode the rock until the surface gives way. Devil's Bath is connected to a broader system that includes the famous Champagne Pool, a large hot spring known for its bubbling surface. Water from the Champagne Pool overflows into the Devil's Bath, carrying dissolved minerals and gases. While the Devil's Bath is not safe for bathing, the waters are acidic enough to irritate your skin and eyes. The surrounding Waiotapu area contains numerous geothermal pools and streams historically used by the Maori people for bathing, cooking, and ceremonial purposes. The Maori name Waiotapu translates to sacred waters. Even today, Maori cultural narratives are intertwined with the landscape, offering insight into how people have lived alongside these natural forces for centuries. Visiting the Devil's Bath offers a chance to observe geology in action. The pool is accessible through a network of boardwalks and trails that wind through the wonderland, allowing visitors to safely view them. Interpretive signs provide explanations of the underlying science, from mineral precipitation to microbial mats. The sensory experience here is unforgettable. Steam drifts across the pools, carrying with it a sense of the Earth's inner workings laid bare. Depending on the weather and sunlight, the pool's color can shift from lime green to almost chartreuse, creating an ever-changing spectacle for photographers. The wider region highlights the deep relationship between the people and the landscape. European settlers in the 19th century, like the Maori before them, were drawn to the area's thermal springs. Rotorua quickly became one of New Zealand's earliest spa destinations. Attractions like the Devil's Bath, Lady Knox Geyser, and the Champagne Pool are complemented by cultural performances and educational programs. In the context of natural swimming pools worldwide, Devil's Bath stands out. It's a reminder that nature's most beautiful features are often the most fragile and potentially dangerous. By observing rather than entering, visitors engage with the pool on nature's terms, appreciating the spectacle without altering or damaging it. Ultimately, Devil's Bath epitomizes the intersection of geology and human curiosity. It looks at traditional notions of what constitutes a swimming pool by demonstrating natural pools can inspire wonder, even without direct immersion. Standing at the edge, gazing into the water, visitors confront both creative and destructive power in Earth's geothermal forces, a reminder that our planet's continual transformation and the allure of places where nature reveals itself in its most vivid form.